Michael Hernandez here of MLH Media, and we are here today. On the road, A1 Combat 24 now coming upon us September 6th over there at the Hard Rock Casino over there in Sacramento, California. And I'm here with the main event, Terrance Wrong Turn Saeturn. How you doing today, my brother?
I'm doing good, Mike. How you doing?
Hey, man, always a pleasure to have you on the program. I've kind of been someone that I've been following your career for quite some time, and now flyweight opportunity, obviously at the amateur level at 559, but now over there at A1 Combat, the sister company. How is it feeling to get this opportunity over there on September 6th?
Feels good. I'm just taking it like another fight because that's really what it is. I'm not making it bigger than what it is because it's just a fight.
And what was your I know, reaction afterwards? That post fight interview, I feel like with Johnny Lonquasto after post fight, just Tom Anderson gets you the news. You were obviously pretty ecstatic, but even talking to you after, it seemed like you were just, this has been something kind of in your sights and your team sights for quite some time. So it must feel pretty good though now. The plan's kind of starting to formulate, right?
Yeah, definitely. It is just another fight, but it has been a goal of mine to win a regional professional MMA title, and excuse me, and it just feels good to write something down and then just create a structure of steps to kind of get there and seeing things unfold. Different opportunities present themselves that some fall through, some go through, and it just feels good, man. I'm just happy and I'm excited to go out and do what I love to do and do it in front of everybody, man.
What has been your really biggest takeaway from that fight now watching it back? Stav Schwartz, Terrance Saeturn, that was, one of the most like exhilarating knockouts of that night, possibly. The pop that I heard from the back, I was actually doing a post-fight interview, and then I go straight to the TV, and I just see just the crowd going crazy. Can you kind of take us through it now, watching back, getting some time to kind of just let everything settle down a bit, what you thought about your performance there that night?
I thought I adjusted well. I kind of diverted from the game plan. I wasn't supposed to kick that early because we knew that he was going to catch a kick and go for a takedown. That's the past few fights that we watched of him. That's what he was kind of how he was taking people down. And the plan wasn't to kick that early, and I fucking just threw a kick. I really meant to throw a knee, but he was a little bit far away. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna extend this out a little bit and turn it into a kick. And then literally what we had envisioned that was going to happen fucking happened. And luckily, I was able to adjust and ended up on top. And we ended up standing back up, and he ended up pulling guard after I pressed him up against the cage. And uh, p- um, I watched it a bunch of times, and I was kind of going through it in my head a lot the weeks afterwards, and I'm like, bro, I don't think I poked him in his eye, man. And I watched it on slow mo. I replayed it a bunch of times. Paused it a bunch of times, and I'm like, dude, I don't think I poked him in his eye. So when that happened, I remember, like I went to go frame to posture up, and then I heard him go, "Oh," and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I looked up at him because I wasn't looking at his face when I went to go frame. My head was down, so I framed up like this, and I heard him go, "Oh," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I looked up, and then he was like covering his eye, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, dude!" And then I looked up at Herb, and I stood up, and then I was like apologizing. I'm like, "Bro, I didn't mean to." I didn't mean to poke you in the eye. That was a fucking accident. I didn't even felt like I poked you in the eye. So then Herb stood us up, and I was about to just kind of let us meet back in the center, but I heard one of my coaches say, "Hey, stay focused, stay focused." So I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm just gonna fucking press forward on this." Then right when Herb tells us to go, I'm just gonna fucking press, and it paid off. I rocked him with a left hook, and I felt him kind of his legs kind of buckle a little bit. Then he got tall, and then I seen him get tall, and I was like, "Oh, yep, I'm gonna follow up." And I cracked him with the right, and I watched him fall, and I'm like, "Okay, I got to follow up now." And I thought that Herb was gonna stop it as he dropped, because like his mouthpiece came out, and I seen him kind of pump fake like he was going to stop me, and I didn't want to stop just yet because I had him hurt and I didn't want him to recover and fight his way back into the fight. So I just was like, "Fuck it, dude. I'm just gonna keep my punches short. I'm gonna keep them quick, and I'm just gonna keep sending it until Herb like tells me to stop and really gets in between both of us."
Wow. I mean, I can't honestly, whenever fighters are kind of put in those spots, I always, I feel for you guys. But even in that moment, I just can't imagine what you were going through because that's actually pretty crazy to think about. Like you're having to think in the moment, do I go? Do I put the foot on the gas pedal and stuff? Has that been kind of a thing in fights where it's happened to you before where you're like, damn, like I don't want to get penalized for finishing too hard on a guy because there has been some circumstances where referees will often penalize guys, but it's like for you guys as fighters, it's a little bit difficult for you guys to really know like, is it is it done now? Like, is it not done? I mean, especially with some of the way stoppages have gone in the past.
Yeah, luckily for me, whenever I have stopped someone, right when I see like the referee starting to like get in between us, I'll just stop because like I don't want to hurt anybody more than I need to. At the end of the day, they have a family and people that love them, and I have respect for everybody that I fight, and it's just it's just business when we're in there. I don't want to permanently hurt somebody. That's the last thing that's on my mind. I don't need that. I don't need that shit on my conscience, man. um, and then my sub win, against Marcelino, I felt him tapping, and then right when I felt him tapping, I seen the referee jumping in. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just let go. And most of the time, like, or if not every time that I finish someone, nobody's, um, what's the word? Nobody's like trying to argue against it, protest. There you go. Nobody's like protesting against it. So it's like, um, I feel like I have a pretty good read on when the referee's gonna step in. So yeah.
No, I found that interesting that you brought it up because you have, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen it in other fighters fights as well where it's like you'll see guys and they're about to finish it off but then they don't really know like because they've maybe been stopped before in previous fights or so on and so forth. So I've kind of found that interesting because like how you said, I mean, with that one too, it kind of looked like it was a bit over, especially with the mouthpiece and everything. So it was
Hmm.
quite interesting to hear your take and everything on it. But speaking a little bit forward now, going into September 6th, going into this title shot, what do you feel a win here at A1 Combat 24, what it can really provide for you? I mean, that would make you now 7-1 in your professional career. I mean, we've seen the UFC be picking up these guys. I mean, they recently made the call for Jack Duffy, Billy Brand, and obviously Ernie Juarez, all getting the shot on Dana White Contender Series. Do you possibly see yourself going down that type of route, or are you just kind of letting things formulate down into Terrance Wrong Turn's own path?
Definitely, I feel like a win here will absolutely solidify a position in the next season of Contender Series. They actually wanted me to be ready. My management team wanted me to be ready for this month or August, for like a short notice thing, and I took it. I took it kind of like with a grain of salt because I just didn't want to. I personally didn't want to prepare for like a slim chance or like a hope of filling in for somebody, and things happen for a reason and opportunities present themselves. And after this last fight against Stav, I did get a call, and people were telling me that some guys at the UFC were kind of interested. So right now, I'm just taking this fight first. I want to get this done first, and I don't see a reason why, especially if I come out with another highlight finish or like a really dominant win, that there's no reason why I shouldn't be picked up or get a call from one of the big shows.
And your opponent, Carlos Fuente Jr., as well. I mean, a very game opponent for you both to be able to display in the main event. What do you think about the matchup? I mean, a little bit different from the previous matchup. Stop Schwartz, very known for his grappling. Carlos Fuente Jr., I would say, a little bit more known for his striking repertoire. What do you think about the matchup going into it?
I think that Carlos Puente is a really tough person. He's a really tough fighter. He's got the most experience out of everybody that I fought so far. He's got 17 fights. His last two fights were title fights. And I think it's a really good test for myself, and I'm excited to test myself.
Yeah. And what do you feel like? I mean, and you speaking a little bit about that experience, I like that you kind of brought that up because you have fought against a lot of guys, and like how you said, Carlos Fuente being on the little bit higher end of that experience side. What do you think it's been like for you now to kind of get that jump up? Do you feel like how you were saying before, it even adds on to like, I mean, what else do you have to do to kind of get that call, especially in this flyweight division where you're seeing so much transition? I mean, we've seen Muhammad Makayev recently get cut. We've seen a guy like Steve Ersteg, who just got a win over a number 8th ranked guy, get a title shot. I mean, a win over a pretty experienced guy in your division. I mean, it's got to speak magnitude, right?
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. He's like I said, he's very experienced. He's been fighting for a while. I've actually got his name. I want to say maybe like last year, or maybe the year before. But like I said, things kind of fall through. But opportunities present themselves, and I got the chance to I got his name again, and I was just like, fuck it, man. What whoever it is, I'm never gonna say no. And I've said this plenty of times before. Like, I'm glad that I have a management team, and I'm glad that my coach, like, they're always like looking out for the best interests of myself. Because if people are like, if somebody were to just text me and ask me like, hey, you want to fight this guy, I'm just gonna say yeah, and I don't care. I love to fight. I love testing myself and competing against people. It's just something that I've been doing for, fuck, man, like,
Man, no, and it's something that I feel a lot of people have tried talking to me about, on the regional scene and been like, hey, so you've gotten to talk to Terrance before, and what do you kind of get from him? Like, you get competitor. Like, this guy wants to compete in any sort of asset. I mean, even after the gi loss, which we've kind of talked about, even on and off camera, you kind of said like, dude, like that was one of my fights I watched back and like, dude, I've grown from it. And that's something that you don't often hear from a lot of guys in MMA talk about their losses. They're like, oh, well, it was a tough fight. We'll get back to it. You are more than willing to kind of discuss that. Do you feel like that's helped you grow in the cage, and not only grow in the cage, but kind of grow outside of it? This kind of mindset of just, hey, like, I'm a competitor and it doesn't really matter so much about more result, but more about growth.
absolutely, man. So here's the thing. Um, Not just competitors and fighters, but people in general tend to have this problem of holding themselves accountable, and accepting the fact that they made a mistake. And people want to just, oftentimes they want to just sweep it under the rug and be like, oh, it was this outside factor, it wasn't my fault, blah 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 blah, I did everything I should have done, blah 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 blah. But for me, I think a lot has to do with just the way that I was raised, and then the way, like the way that Coach Sonny is, and how we are as a team. Everybody holds each other accountable. Everybody holds themselves accountable, and when somebody makes a mistake, you're gonna fucking know about it, Because if somebody makes a mistake, everybody's getting fucking yelled at for it. Everybody's fucking in trouble. If one person's in trouble, everybody's in trouble. If one person gets punished, everybody's getting punished. So I think that, you know, being raised the way that I was, being raised the way that I was, and then being on the team that I'm on, it just kind of compounded into making me into the person that I am today, the competitor that I am today. And yeah, and I wouldn't have wanted any other way, man, because that's a really hard pill to swallow as far as like accountability goes. And like, people are like, dude, you fucked up. And oftentimes people get defensive, and it's just like, for me, I'm not gonna get defensive. I'm gonna hear what you have to say. And if you're right, then fuck, you're right, bro. Like, something's got to change, right?
I know your name's Wrong Turn, man, but it's almost like you're all turning, man. You're always turning, you're always getting everything, and like how you said, you're always very accountable in yourself. So that's one thing that I think fight fans will learn to appreciate you, especially as the popularity seems to grow about you, my man. But just speaking a little bit of some of your efforts outside the cage, because I know a lot of people know you as the fighter, but speaking a little bit on, I mean, just not only your representation for your culture in MMA, but also your representation for the organizations. Like, I mean, Fight Like Our Kids. You also have Fighters Global. Like, there's so many kind of organizations that you're like part of and that you're kind of helping represent. What do you feel like has been the your biggest contribution, or possibly the thing you're most excited about with these groups? I mean, obviously, like how I said, a couple of groups I just named off, but you may have some things in the works that you possibly wanted to add on here.
Yeah, definitely. It just feels right, because Fight Like Our Kids and Team Fighters United, and then like my gym, the gym that I train out of, Train for Life. They have supported me since day one, or ever since I've met them. They've always been super super supportive of me, and it's only right for me to reciprocate that, right? Because I don't want to be just taking. I want to be able to give back too. And um, a couple of the things that I have done that I really have am proud of is we have this annual community cleanup in Sassoon and Fairfield where everybody from T4L will walk the highway and we'll pick up all the trash, and we do like coat giveaways to the homeless people that live out here. There's fucking hella homeless people here, just like there is everywhere else. And I did last year. Me, Blake, and Amini went out to Sacramento, and we did like a lemonade stand with Chris, with Fight Like Our Kids. I'm actually about to go. I forget what it's called. I think it's like a kids fest thing on September the 1st. So fight week, it's gonna be Sunday before the fight. For Fight Like Our Kids. He asked me if I can, if I wasn't busy. He understands it's fight week, but I was like, no, dude, like as long as it's, you know, on a Sunday, and it's within a certain time, I don't have shit to do. I ain't got no fucking plans, like I'd love to come by and show face and just talk to everybody, and rub elbows with Josh Emmett's gonna be there. I believe Max is gonna be there. Corey McKenna, Hector is gonna be there. So it'd be cool to hang out with them and rub elbows and kind of just I guess ask questions on things within the sport and how to elevate myself, not just as a fighter, but like my brand and how to connect with people more and stuff like that.
And those are definitely not some bad names to get some representation from over there, especially with those likes of those. I mean, Team Alpha Males obviously produced a lot of top quality talent, but I mean, the state of California alone possibly looking to add you to that name of possible UFC talent with a big win over there on September 6th. But just speaking a little bit more about the out of the cage things, I mean, let's talk about Nikki Art, man. I mean, come on.
Oh, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the shirts are amazing, man. Are we getting a new one? Championship opportunity? Is there going to be a new design coming out pretty soon? Or what's up with it, my man?
Yeah, my girlfriend Nicole, that's her art page. She's been the one that's made all the shirts, and I just got this new sponsor, A Whole New Day. They're based in Utah, but the owners are from Hawaii. Then they're really really close with Coach Sonny, and they actually were wondering if my girl can help design these new shirts. There's gonna be, I believe, two. There's going to be the walkout shirt, which is going to be pretty much primarily the A Whole New Day logo with Crown Golf. Crown Golf is also another my co-sponsor. Uh, that is also based in Utah. And funny story. So the owner of Crown Golf is cousins with my girlfriend's cousin. I don't know how that makes, well, that
That's
just seems like that
crazy.
should be cousin. Yeah, small fucking world, man. The world just keeps getting smaller. But so yeah, there's gonna be, I want to say, two shirts. One of them is gonna be a whole new day with like my name and Crown Golf and T4L. And then there's also going to be, I want to say, another wrong turn with the Mien embroidering, with, I believe, I want to say it's with the same colors as A Whole New Day, but I don't want to speak on it too soon yet. We're still kind of brainstorming about it. But yeah, Nicole will definitely be helping out designing the new shirts. I got a couple of mock-ups and they look pretty cool, man. I'm excited. I'm just excited.
your fellow me and brother over here in the Visalia area, Tyler Staley, gained an opportunity at the 559 fights title on August 23rd. On August 23rd, what are you thinking about that? I mean, somebody that you've gotten a fight over here in Visalia before, and you, Tyler, are also pretty close. How is it like to kind of see? We spoke about it before, but you really kind of were on the forefront of growing MMA and like Mian culture, and I feel like you were one of the like kind of first stars I would see on Instagram and like Mian pages. What do you really think about another kind of from the same organization as you, Tyler Staley, lightweight division? What are your thoughts about his championship opportunity? Much like yourself coming up on August 23rd.
Hey man, you love to fucking see it, bro. You love to fucking see it, man. Obviously you love to see people succeed, but even people within our nationality, our ethnicity, because there's not a lot of men fighters, and like just like you said, man, I kind of was like the first like person to break through and kind of made a name and got a little bit of popularity. And ever since then, I've been seeing Tyler. Tyler's been fighting. Tyler's a fucking dog, man. I would love for an opportunity to train with him, but he lives out there, and I'm not really out there very often. But Tyler, if you ever watch this, man, if you're ever in like Fairfield and Sassoon, if you got family out here, man, you know the doors at T Furl are always going to be welcome for you and your team. And we got some guys around your size that'll give you some good work, man. So if you're ever around here, we'd love to have you in. I also seen there's this kid, Caleb Say Chow, and he's I want to say he's like 11 or 12 now, and man, that kid's a fucking stud, dude. He wrestles now, and he's always doing jujitsu tournaments. I think he does a little bit of Muay Thai too, and you know, I always like to tell people, regardless of whether they're men or just people that are they have big dreams and they want to do things with their lives. You know, I always tell everybody, you know, like you can do anything that you want to do and be anyone that you want to be, as long as you're willing to work hard, as long as you're willing to believe in yourself and tune out the naysayers, and as long as you really want to do it, you're going to do it, you know. And I think Tyler, Caleb, anybody, you know, and that does just it's the same with everybody else, you know. Anybody can be anyone that they want. Anybody can do anything that they want, as long as they're willing to put in the work.
Man, from the streets of the 707 all the way coming and fighting at 559, knocking out guys over here and then knocking guys out of your gym, taking the trash out over there, so to speak, and now a title opportunity. You came a long way, my man. What anybody you wanted to thank in particular though? I know we were just speaking a lot about your sponsors and everything and everybody that supports you, but I know you have other people that also help support you in various ways, like how you said, your girlfriend, but I mean your family. Just there's so many people I could go on and on, but is there anybody in particular you wanted to thank in this segment?
Yeah, man. I really want to thank my uncle Johnny, man. He's my dad's youngest brother. He's uh he's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now. And when I was 9, he introduced me to wrestling, and he just always believed in me. Damn, he always believed in me from then, and if it wasn't for him, I don't know what I'd be doing now with my life, to be honest with you. And so yeah, Uncle Johnny, thank you. Um, Thanks to Coach Sonny, man, and for again holding all of us accountable, and you know, believing in us, even though there's times where we don't believe in ourselves, and for being the honest, blunt asshole that everybody needs in their life. You know, when you're fucking up, you need somebody that's gonna be there to tell you, like, dude, you're fucking up, and you need to do better. You know, I expect better from you, and you should expect better from yourself. And you should hold yourself to a certain level of excellence, because you know you only have one life to live, and you need to make it a life worth living. And obviously, my girl, you know, she's super super supportive, and she's always there. She's always in my corner, or there supporting for the fights, and um, my teammates, man. The support from my teammates, like, cause fight camp, you're not always gonna have good days, and like when you have a good group of guys around you, a good team behind you, they're gonna be there to fucking pick you up and let you know, like, hey, bro, it's not a good day today, but you're doing fine. Just fucking keep on keeping on, bro. And then everybody like Chris from Fight Like Our Kids, man, he's been supporting me for a few years now, and my heart goes out to him and his family, and um, everybody from the 707 that supports me, man. Like when I first started, I never really thought that I would have this big of a support group behind me, and I don't really think about it often, but when I do take a second to kind of look back or kind of appreciate and take a deep breath, and then like really think about, like, wow, like there's a lot of people that do support you. I mean, even the people that fucking didn't support me, like at first, like now they do, and it's just like, all right, man, like that's cool, and I'm just, to be honest with you, man, I'm just grateful. Thank you, man, because you've been following me for a while now, and you're always, you're always on my team, man. You're always on the squad. And last fight, we were fucking hanging out, drinking some brews, and shooting the shit, and that was super fucking cool, man. Um,
I officially got inaugurated, man.
yeah,
Little
yeah,
funny
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Sonny comes up to me. I'm at the dinner area, and he says, "Hey, man, you're a nobody." And
Hey, facts.
I was like, "What?" And he's like, "You're a nobody." I'm confused as can be. And you're like, "No, that means like you're one of us." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm a very honored journalist to be a part of Team Nobody. It's a very hard squad to get into over there in the 707. So
Hell
it's
yeah,
it's
hell
an
yeah.
honor bestowing of me, man. I'm very appreciative, but very sorry to cut you off. Continue on.
Oh no, you're good. And then DeAndre, and then his pop John with a whole new day. I've met DeAndre a couple of years ago too. But I would say that we got a little bit more close. Just recently we went out to Vegas for Coach Tony's birthday, and then DeAndre was out there, and really got to kind of to know each other. And he's a cool ass fucking dude, funny as shit, man. He's so fucking funny because like I said, he's from Hawaii, so like he speaks pidgin, but then he also like he like transitions from like speaking pidgin to like just regular English. So it's just hella funny, like just being around. You got to just be around him, bro. He'll be there at the fights, so hopefully you get a chance to meet him and his pop. And the guys over at Crown Golf, um, Train for Life, obviously. A Team Nobody MMA, Saber Jiu Jitsu, Triumph Fitness. Um, yeah, man.
A lot of people backing the likes of Terrance, Wrong Turn, Saeturn, as he looks to make his way into the A1 Combat Cage on September 6th over there. Hard Rock Sacramento, A1 Combat 24 main event versus Carlos Puente Jr. for the A1 Combat Flyweight Championship. First ever time this Flyweight Championship has been crowned onto someone, or I believe so. First time or second time. Joseph Morales, first champion. Terrance Saeturn looking to possibly become the second ever A1 Combat Flyweight champion. Thank you so much for your time today, my man. Michael Hernandez of MLH Media in the 559, a former wrestling stomping grounds of my man over there in the 707, Terrance Wrong Turn Saeturn.